What is buying the dip? When should you buy the dip? And how can you make money buying the dip? Well, in this video, I'm going to go through all of those things, and I'm going to give a real life example where I'm buying the dip in order to give you an answer to all those questions. So to start off with, what is buying the dip? Well, buying the dip is when you have identified an asset which has recently been on a downturn in terms of price, and you believe that overall that asset is on an uptrend. And the reason for the downturn has nothing to do with the underlying fundamentals of that asset. So for example, in this case, we're looking at the price of Bitcoin here on this graph, and Bitcoin is an asset which has, in many people's opinion, very strong fundamentals. It has a growing user base, it has growing hash rate, the number of people adopting and using Bitcoin is growing month on month. So the fundamentals are strong, but the price has been on a downturn. And that can be for a number of reasons. At any point in time, it could be because of negative news. It could be, for example, an increase in interest rates, which is causing people to have to sell off part of their portfolio. So there can be a number of reasons for you to see excessive selling. And at that moment, you can find an opportunity where the asset is oversold and it's now undervalued, in which case you can buy effectively, if you're correct, at a discount. So I'm just using this as an example. This is certainly not investment advice, but if we look at this graph, we can see that this asset, Bitcoin, has been on a downtrend and the price is very low. So that's it in a nutshell. You want to find an asset which generally over time is on an uptrend, and if we look at this, we can see it has been on an uptrend for quite a few years. So the price is going up over time, but we're seeing a momentary slump in price. And that could give us a good opportunity to make a purchase of this particular investment asset. So the question is, how do we know if an asset is undervalued or oversold? And how do we know this is a good buying opportunity, a good time to get in? Well, there are a number of indicators that you can use in order to help identify that. So just to look at one that we have available right now, this is the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. And it gives you an idea based on a number of different indicators whether or not the crypto market is oversold, i.e. if people are to an extent making irrational decisions when selling. So we can see there are a number of different indicators that this measurement uses. So price volatility, they look at the momentum of the market, they look at responses through social media and trends and things of that nature. And what it does is it gives you a score which indicates whether the market is fearful or not. And what you can find is that over time, the amount of fear and greed fluctuates. So we can see here that at this moment in time, the amount of fear is at almost the lowest point possible, which could potentially give you a good buying opportunity. So if we go back to the Bitcoin graph, what I've done is plotted on this graph all of the times where you see extreme fear, and that score, that fear score has been below a 10, which is one of the lowest possible scores you can get on the Fear and Greed Index. And these have all historically been quite good or very good buying opportunities. So we can see the price during 2018 was 2,600 for the Bitcoin, and there have been moments, of course, where this indicator hasn't given the best opportunity. So, for example, there was extreme fear at this point, and the price did continue to go down. So, it's important to realize if you are using a method of buying the dip that you have a long term time horizon. You can't be expecting to see instant results. You're looking for an optimal time to get in, but you're not looking for a guarantee that you're going to see a bounce back in the short term. That is almost impossible to predict. So you really need to have a long-term perspective when you're using this method. So again, this video is not meant to constitute financial advice. So I'm not saying to buy the dip in any particular moment or with any particular asset. But I hope this video will help to give you ideas on opportunities that you can look at and do research on and find opportunities for when you potentially can buy the dip. So hopefully that's been useful, and thanks for watching.